Well, hello world, welcome to Raccoon Point Studios. I'm Sean Bombs, and today we are going through some sounds on the Behringer Vintage Phaser, the Super Fuzz, and the Vintage Delay. Everything that you just heard in that intro song was played using these pedals, nothing else, no EQ, nothing, just leveled it out with the drums, and that was it. We're going to start with the Vintage Phaser, and we're going to work our way over. I'll start with the construction. This is the only one that's made out of metal. The other two are made out of plastic. It is also $20 more than the other two. So this was like $50 and these are like $30 each. You have a rate, which is the speed of the phase, and then you have a tone knob, and that changes the style of the phase. One's inverted, one's not inverted. I don't really know what that means really. All I know is one sounds like it has a little tiny bit more low end in it, and the other one sounds a little bit thinner. In the manual it says the tone knob up can act more like almost like a vibrato type of the way it handles everything. So that being said, let's just go through the tone. So here's my clean. We'll start with the tone knob down. So I prefer my phasers to have a slower rate, but for this example, I'm just showing you all the speeds of the rate. If I go any further than that, it's going to sound like that. I'm going to leave it at 8, and I'm going to put the tone knob up so you can really hear the difference between the two styles of phase. So one more time. With the tone knob up, it's a little bit more aggressive, and it's almost it's like a phaser with a little bit of a pitch bend somehow in there. I guess that's why they said it's kind of like a vibrato. So here's the setting I would probably play it on. And back to tone down. And both of them sound great. I mean, for $50, I don't think you can beat that. And it's in a metal enclosure. I don't know why I have to keep tapping on that, but why not? It's metal. So they sound great. I would use either of them depending on the song, the style, what it's going through. So anyway, let's move on to the Super Fuzz. So the Super Fuzz has Fuzz 1, Fuzz 2, Fuzz 3. Fuzz 1 has more mid-range focus, so it's, you know, more of the mid-range. And then Fuzz 2 is a scooped mid-range fuzz. And then the boost switch is a boost. It's going to boost your signal. So you would use that, you know, for your clean channel, and it would just give you a little bit more oomph in your playing. And I'll show you that in a second. You also have a treble and a mid, and they are both boost and cut. And then you have your level. Now the level only works on the fuzz channels. If you're using the boost, this level is not in the circuit anymore. So let's do the fuzz. first, Fuzz 1 first, which is more mid-range. Now the Fuzz 2. So you can tell a big difference between Fuzz 1 and Fuzz 2. That mid-range is just completely gone on Fuzz 2. So it really depends on what you're looking for. And I find that they both sound great together. The one thing, the complaint that I have with this particular Fuzz is, on both of them, is that they're only good for power chords. So if you add any other note into a chord, if you play like a chord with any other thing than fifths in it, it's going to have artifacts that you might like, you might not like. I don't particularly like it because I want to hear the chord that I'm playing. So it is going to get very weird. So I'm going to show you that real quick. I'm going to start with the Fuzz 1 and I'm going to play a chord. And now with the Fuzz. And again, that was the chord. You didn't hear that, right? So here's Fuzz 2. So it's cool for stuff, some stuff, but if you're trying to get chords and you really want the chords to shine through, this isn't the pedal for that. So you also have these EQs right here, and it's just cut and boost. So I am just gonna show you what the high and the low sounds like on Fuzz 1 and Fuzz 2. I'm gonna start with Fuzz 2 since I'm already there. So you get a nice range of EQ in there, you know, and it really would help a lot depending on what your amp is. So you might need to tweak those to get the right sound that you're looking for. So let's move on to the boost portion of this. I'm going to turn the gain knob all the way down and zero out these equalizers. And I'm going to turn this off so you can hear my clean channel, and then I'll put the boost in. And I'll just gain it up halfway, just so you can really hear that. So with the boost, you can hear the chords. If you play different notes in there, there's no problems. With that, just the fuzz. And then if you max it out, I quite like that. I really do, actually. That's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool overdrive. A lot of times with boost pedals, some of them will have like a treble switch on them or a little knob to help articulate or get you a different tone that you wouldn't get without it. So let's try putting this up to 3 o'clock, and I'm gonna take out low end and add high end, and it should get sparkly. Without it, so it's it can change the tone drastically if you want it to, or you can just do it a little bit more subtle with the EQ dialed back. You're taking away from the body of it, but you're gaining some mid-range loveliness in there. So you really hear certain articulations in your playing and the tone of your guitar that you would not normally hear, which is pretty cool. So let's move on to the vintage delay, and the vintage delay sounds like a vintage delay. It does sound like it has that clock noise that you hear with vintage delays from the chips that they use, especially if you have it on its slowest delay. So you have your rate, which is how slow and how fast the delay is. Then you have your effect level, which you can crank it, and the delay notes will be a little bit louder than the original playing. And then you have your intensity, which is how many times it's going to repeat, and it will self-oscillate. So for those that don't know what self-oscillation is, I'll show you that in 1 second. But let me just show you what this thing sounds like at its slowest repeat and its loudest repeat. So if you hear that little chimey sound in there, that's clock noise. Some people like that, some people don't like that, but it sounds pretty cool to me. So the faster it is, the less you hear that clock noise. That's usually how it works. Let's try some other stuff with this. I'm going to dial back the effect. Bring back the intensity. So now it's more like an echo. Let's throw the boost in there. And that sounds really cool together. Now let me show you what self-oscillation is for anybody that's new to this. So basically, it's just the output feeding back into the input, or at least it's emulating that, which what would have happened if you were using tape machines to do your delay, because they're just feeding back into each other to get the delay. That's the original way it was done before we had other ways to do it. That's the vintage delay. I think it sounds really good. It sounds like a vintage delay. I don't know if they're using actual chips in it. It sounds like they're using actual chips to me, but what do I know? Just some dude. So let's try all three of these. The boost. Like I said, you can pull that effect down. I'm just showing you, so I'm being aggressive with it. But you could have it in the back like that, so it's just helping you fill out. Pretty cool. Let's do all this with the fuzz, and I'm going to use the scooped mid first, and I'm just gonna, let's see what the fuzz sounds like with the gain all the way down. Now the phaser. And all the way up. Let's give it a little bit more high end. And now let's do a little delay there. Let me slow it down a little bit. All right, that sounds pretty cool. Let's try the mid forward fuzz. Turn some of the high down. So you can go from pretty to gritty. And if you don't know who Gritty is, come to Philadelphia and find out. Anywho, that's Gritty right there. These are all affordable pedals. And I just wanted to share that with you if you're new to pedals and if you're just looking into doing different sounds and you want to do it in an affordable way. I think this is the way to do it. Behringer, $30, $50. I mean, I got this Tiny Tune Click, whatever. I don't know what this is, if it's supposed to be called Click or Cleek. Who knows? But got this on Amazon. I think it was $20 to $30. It's a little slow. It's a tuner, by the way. It's a little slow to pick everything up compared to like a Korg or a Boss, but it gets the job done, and it won't. You know, you can use your phone. I just don't like using my phone all the time for every little thing. It drives me nuts. So, if you like this video, hit the like. If you're into this kind of content, please subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.